So, and wetlands, under the Massachusetts regulations, if you cross wetlands, you'll have to replicate wetlands. You can't just eliminate wetlands.
You can do 5,000 square feet, am I right?
Right, that's it, yeah.
As far as we're aware, the only
I thought
wetland
that was
area
dead
is
anyway.
this in the middle, from the map that's
He
available online.
Is your
And-
driveway gonna
and
be
he-
going through it?
The one that's currently there runs over it. Miranda's had put a pipe underneath to channel the drainage, that's what
Okay.
he had done.
So then,
So I don't know if that still counts as
No, it
well,
doesn't.
it,
the wetlands
well,
or
it's,
not.
no, it doesn't, because it's
Okay.
existing, and it'll be mapped, it'll be put on the plan,
But if
but you still
Bernie
have to
did it-
file.
You still file,
You still
okay.
file.
Bernie put it in without an order of condition to conservation will issue
So we got 5
Right.
fish.
a repairable
This is
order
what
of
we
conditions.
I don't know what he did.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure he
Oh,
did.
you're sure, okay, you're sure.
Yeah, we'll get that out on the table,
Okay.
just like paperwork at night.
Okay.
He needed to access
They can go
it.
before
We
conservation.
had, that was
Yeah, there's a pipe in
Yeah.
there next to
It
it.
pretty much does this.
Well,
Yeah.
but you know how you see on the map,
People pretty much do it themselves. It's not,
Yeah,
when we have
cross
100
hatch.
foot,
no touch zone, so
Right.
it's just drive.
all you have to put in front of
Yes.
conservation.
As long as the water
And that's
streams
when
are
you
back
have
and forth, there's
the Coles
but
Road.
they would
show.
issue an order of condition that's the size of the
He's
pipe.
built
Yeah.
If it
a lot.
meets
The
that,
yellow
then you
line
have
is
a
where the
problem.
road is
We
currently.
need to do that.
And this
for
line is
like,
proposed
next to
splitting.
not corners, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
do we have to do that?
But you see how close
You
it
would do
is to
that,
that
or would
hole?
I was doing it
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you'd have to work
If they're
out what he
putting
needs to
houses
sell
back
it,
here,
if he's
okay.
selling it as is, or.
I would not recommend.
Originally, he wanted to sell those raw.
He could get
and we
away
had
with
to
it without having
come up to what he was
How
asking
far
in
can a
order to
road
go
be
through
from
this
the
process. He wanted
buffer?
us to just buy
Probably
without question.
15 You years. mean for the ago. boundaries?
We couldn't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, how about
Now
this?
we're-
I
I
know.
myself,
Yeah, setbacks are 50.
honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to a single
I
family,
guess he called.
having two families is an, but I'm not gonna vote on it.
This is absolutely
I'm
unbuildable.
abstaining because I live on the street.
This side,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, it's this steep and it's rock, right? So
Mel says he won't do any more.
there's just some sweet spots along in here where you could put something.
There are other
That's owned
houses
by-
in that area
used to
that
be
have done the
Fane,
same thing
And
that
it's
are
somebody that married
a
Fane.
house off on a lane
daughter,
behind
son,
them.
Gates. And
This
Gates
place
got
over,
millions and
the one I
millions, so
just
they
pointed
don't
out,
care
that was
about-
Bernie's, that's Bernie's
That's what,
nephew
you
that
know,
owns that
they
property.
put it up to terms
What's
and
his
they
name?
can.
So they're coming back.
Paul Duart, yes. And then John Sousa's house is off the lane, and then there's one all up and down that street, so
Where's
it
the
is kind
playground?
of, does conform to that
Oh,
neighborhood.
oh,
It's that one.
So all the yellow's been built out,
where?
and the black are the what's available.
That's on the
It's
property
not
line.
available here.
This
huh?
right here,
Yeah, the wetland.
the road has to be
Actually,
within
what I
100
did
feet of
was-
it, or you're gonna go in front of conservation, away from it. To the closest point of it, and even though you see water,
This map shows
wetlands
all
could be
along.
almost 25, 30 feet away from it.
The
So
black
you have to
is
stay
dark
away
for
from
the
this, you might wanna check that out.
It could be
Okay,
so
that's-
big that we
that's
couldn't
where
go
the-
by it.
That's where the pipe is, for drainage.
Yeah,
Thanks.
all right. So you're saying that you feel that it's worth
Well, should we go before conservation
That's what I
first then,
think
is
you
that?
need to do.
conservation first?
Yeah,
that.
conservation could put restrictions on this that may be too prohibitive for you
Right,
to move
yeah.
forward, so.
Both houses down here is not okay,
Yeah.
Right,
right? I mean,
Right.
that's defeating the whole purpose,
right,
right?
exactly.
Trying to get a little space,
Yeah.
right?
So, yeah,
Um,
I would just make sure that you make conservation aware if you submit this plan, that you intend to come to this board,
Yeah,
and not put a subdivision in.
right,
So,
right.
okay.
So you would be willing to hear us doing a dual driveway coming up?
Not a dual, separate driveways.
So, I mean, that's what I meant to say.
Two
Yeah,
separate
excuse me, right.
driveways.
Separate driveways.
Two things, they break apart and go up one on
Deeded
each
that
side.
way.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Deeded that way.
And deeded that way, right,
You
yep,
create two lots.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're creating two lots.
Right.
They each have to enter, our bylaws require each property to enter through its frontage.
yep,
So if you split the frontage, you have to get a building permit from me, you have to enter through its frontage.
right,
So you'll have to have two driveways,
Okay.
one for each lot.
yep, all right.
You might just show this to Charlie Mello, he'd be able to have give you his input on it. His, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know when they meet. though.
At least get a handshake that this will go through, go ahead and move forward.
Well, I just went to the last conservation, it was
That's-
already in
that's the
February,
problem,
beginning of
right.
February,
That's
so
what
it's
you
gonna be
go.
in March, beginning of March, I think the next, I don't know if it's second Tuesday or second, I don't know.
I'm sorry, I
Second
didn't,
Tuesday,
I'm trying-
they meet
Second
Conservation,
Second
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 Tuesday.
Wednesday, second Wednesday.
Second Wednesday.
Second Wednesday of March.
But you probably wanna check with him first, just to make sure that, then talk to Charlie Mello, he'll give you an idea, that's when I had to go before them, I talked to Charlie Miller first.
He's really helpful.
Yep.
Yeah, he was the one I had spoke to last summer on the phone, when I had originally even saw that it was all conservation, I just wanted to know
Yeah.
where we stood.
Right.
Next to this man over here is the smartest man in town.
We're good?
He knows a lot about it, he knows that job, that's for sure.
Cool. All right, so Charlie
Hear
Mello,
that?
What? Was
He
that
said something good about you.
Yeah, definitely.
so Charlie Mello first,
Yeah.
get his, you can work this out somehow or another, and if we can get past Charlie, then you feel that it's worth bringing forward
Perfect.
to you.
But like we said, we're not gonna be the voting merit, this is something we can hear, that's what we're telling you.
Right.
This is a hearable
It's not a
case.
non-starter, but there are some
There are
obstacles.
other people that will be.
Who may not have the same opinion that we
And the
have.
butters will be notified, they
We're
might
on
have
butters
problems
come in,
with it too.
Right.
they can speak against it.
Right,
So-
We
right.
have to have an open meeting, and like I said, there's 3 other members that are not here tonight, that are
Yeah.
not present because of illness, and now that, just,
Right. My suspicion is that these folks will be happy the Mirandas are not trying to build apartment
Yeah.
buildings here. So I suspect that the abutters won't be
I took a
a
deep
blocking
breath.
issue. What's that?
I took a deep breath. I didn't wanna see a 32-unit bed and breakfast for the housing for the elderly to have come
It's
visit.
just
You're
like,
saying that now because Joe's left, but if he was here, you would in favor of it.
I am an elderly.
he's retired, I mean retired.
This is what happens in something like that, they come before you, and they, oh gee, it didn't work out, they got the building built, but nobody wants the bed and breakfast, so they take out 1 bedroom, they got 16-unit, 2-bedroom apartments.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So we can hear it, there's no guarantee,
Right.
it's gonna be approved.
Yeah,
Before you spend all the money and come to us, you might wanna check with conservation.
Conservation.
that's, we're trying not to throw money at it until it makes sense, right?
And then, like you
And
said,
are
the
they
perks
gonna,
have never been.
are they gonna expend the money to have it perked?
That's on us.
That's
not
on
what
you?
we're doing it, I don't trust them to do anything, we're just doing it ourselves.
So
Well,
you
the
do know.
perk test will be done by that man that just left.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
but as far as paperwork and everything like that, we had gotten something like this where it was, they changed the dates on the survey and it wasn't updated, we had to go back and get all the paperwork and things like that.
You're a smart girl.
Everything about the current owners makes us nervous, so we're gonna be careful and check everything.
Okay.
They're not to be trusted
So,
I hear you.
from, the word around the water bubbler is,
After the conservation, should we get,
Do your homework on any,
Plans.
I don't care what it is you buy.
it's
Doesn't
big money,
matter.
yeah,
Not
right.
only that, no matter what you buy, I listen to people all the time, well, we didn't know that when we bought it, you didn't read it. They just wanted, they went in and bought it, they saw it, they wanted, this is the house, my dream house, they buy it, now, geez, the place is falling down.
It's too good to be true.
Do your homework.
Yeah, probably.
Do your homework
would we
anyway.
need plans with, this is for a three lot, would we need plans to come back with a 2 lot?
Two, yes.
Okay.
So, 2 lot, and then do we need house plans, or is it enough to say 2
That's-
single
No,
families?
house plans, we're
That's
gonna
on
be dealing
you.
with this
Right.
man
It'll
over
be
here
2
later
single
on.
families.
We don't tell you where to put the house, we don't tell you
No.
what style
And
house.
Perk test is gonna determine where your house goes.
Right, perk test.
Yeah.
That's right. We can't tell you where. You can come back and say, well, you agreed to put it back there, and we'll come to find out it's gonna cost me 1,200 feet for a road and stuff. I'm gonna put it down here. Once it's done, it's pretty much, it's like you
Yeah.
said, it's where the,
You have to conform with some of the other regulations that I have control over,
Right.
so.
That
I'm
is-
easy
it's
to
out of our
talk
hands.
to, so.
but it's out of our hands. We're just here to determine whether, like we try to tell those other youths that, so they showed this, they were very adamant about their intentions and stuff, so.
Mm.
But we're not here for a subdivision. We're only here
Right.
for variances.
Mhm.
So if you go through conservation, it's perked, you go to us and you get approval, he's the easiest person. After us, he's not gonna throw in any roadblocks.
Right.
You know, you're gonna do certain things, but
Right.
Mhm.
We just wanna do the
If
right
you make it
things
through
to
all these
prepare for
three,
the right
then
things.
you'll be dealing with him and you should
While
have-
we're on the subject, I
Just
don't want you to
spend the
be
money.
aware of this, because where you want to have a certain amount of feet from the road, okay,
Yeah.
the existing road, it is now a state requirement that it be done with a certain grade of fill to support fire trucks, which is a lot more expensive than it used to be.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You are right.
You need to be aware of
And the
that.
fire department will bring a fire truck down the driveway before they sign off on your occupancy permit.
And
It's
charge me to
actually
tow it
written.
out if it sinks.
Yes.
They won't be happy, I can assure you
This
that.
is all you need to know and consider it.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. The cost of the road just went up.
That is
Right.
gonna be a costly expense. I know what you're involved in down there.
And it
All
is-
ledge.
And it's
It's all
double
ledge.
check.
And it isn't, that's a good point, it isn't a Dayton regulation, that's written into NFPA, that's statewide.
Statewide.
We've just started getting, about 2 years now, am I right?
Yeah.
Since this has been brought forward.
Right.
We, as a board, don't control it, but you're here discussing it as a consideration
Yep.
as to what you're gonna be doing here.
I'll bet you there'll be a few other things that'll jump out from behind the bush and cost me money too.
Wait till you start drilling your well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
It's
already
well-
letting you know.
Actually, it's cheaper because as soon as you go down 18 inches, you're hitting rock. They don't put any steel pipe in anymore after that. It's all lead.
There you go.
But then you run into the iron problem. It's a nice place to visit, but don't drink the water.
And then you also have
no,
the
there's no
foundation.
iron in the water in Dayton, what are you, crazy? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We send out all the
Kidding.
Swansea.
You know, if you go out to Arizona, there's people out there that actually dye their shirts the color of the rust to change their clothes, and they sell them.
I
That's
have one.
authentic Arizona rust. You can't just get that anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they find a cure for cancer with that rust, because it is.
That'd be perfect, right. You know, we're over in Miller's Lane, so our water's crunchy. You know, we filter it and filter it again,
You live on Miller's Lane?
yeah.
What about?
3094, so I'm next to Leon, everyone's favorite. No, you don't know him? Okay.
That's good.
The Miller's Lane extension, the little left off of Miller's Lane.
Yep.
That's
All the way at the
St.
very
George's
end,
Lake
yeah, the
there.
last
On the
house.
bottom hill.
Yep.
That goes, what's your property?
On Miller's Lane?
That's my back boundary.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Which one is?
Carpenter, you know,
Oh, the
Carpenter's
carp,
house.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, Drew
My-
Carpenter is the one we're trying to do the contracting with.
The stone wall behind Drew Carpenter's got the log cabin.
Yeah,
There's a house that used to be owned by the electrician.
yeah.
His backyard, that stone wall is my back boundary.
Oh, okay,
But my entrance is on Elm Street.
all right,
Small world.
yeah. So you got rust in your water too?
It's honestly, it's $1,500 a year. And I have to do my own water department. Anything goes wrong, I had to dig it up myself.
Yeah, yeah.
I have to have it serviced twice a year, because it just gets clogged, and someone has to come in and dump it out.
Wrecks the clothes, wrecks the appliances.
You can't live there without it.
Yeah,
That's what I've never seen with a white shirt.
That's why.
yeah, we don't do white.
Well, with the filtration system, in all honesty, it comes white, and I don't ever have any soap film on anything that you use, because it's softer. But, I mean, where do you put that rust? It comes out of the pipe like a worm. An orange worm, like toothpaste.
And I do have a question, sorry, we just, so we have a
Don't drink
backup
the water.
of the-
See, we have a
you know
serious
the
person here, so
30
we can-
acres that's right up the street here, that Ron Maderis was trying to do something with, and now it's back on the market.
40
It's
feet.
100 acres.
Oh, I thought it was, when I originally saw it was like 30 acres.
Right on 138?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on
Oh, is
138.
that,
It's in excess of 100 acres, there's
Oh.
3 parcels there.
And
That's what
it's
they
up for
did,
sale.
I don't wanna discourage you, but I don't think.
You don't think
that's-
it's a good lot?
Oh, it's a good
What's
lot,
a good
it's an
lot?
expensive lot,
It's an expensive.
expensive lot.
Okay.
They're looking for a lot more than just a few $100,000
Am I out
for
of
house
place about
lots.
talking about land?
They're looking for a lot of money.
Are you
Should I
selling
say-
land?
I have
That fell
one.
out then with him.
Well, you
I
probably
don't
need
wanna
this
say it.
meeting, yeah, no, you should not
My
discuss
parents
at the
and him
meeting, I guess.
go way back, but they're not friends.
Um,
They
I'm
haven't
pretty
been
sure the
for years.
price tag
Yeah, right.
is close to $1 million.
So they're not selling it in smaller,
No.
like 20, 30
No.
acre lots?
No, they
No,
wanna
they
They
sell it
wanna
as
sell
a
it to a developer.
developer.
20
$100
acres
million.
is not small.
Oh. Hmm.
20 acres is quite a lot.
Oh, no, no, I come from.
I got 17.
Where do you come from?
Yeah.
Well, we've always had the 20, like we had 20 acres in Swansea on Sharp's lot. So
Nice.
I've always grown up on large acres of land, so this isn't too much.
Twice.
My family's had a couple hundred acres up in Maine, Canada, things like that.
Me too. But the price of the.
Yeah, it's way different than here, but so it's
The
nice
taxes
to,
too, which is.
it's nice not to see your neighbors.
Gentlemen, we still need to approve the minutes.
Okay.
Oh, so you're not gonna close, cause I have one thing.
Well, we're gonna
Yes.
prove the minutes.
Yeah,
Is
thank
there
you.
any
Yeah.
Thank you
questions
so
on the
much for your
minutes?
time.
I
Okay.
appreciate
Make sure you
it.
don't,
I get off from my agenda here.
If you want this, that's your application.
Okay, so if we can get to Charlie soon enough, we'll get this to you as quick as we can.
yeah, you wanna get the whole
That
Charlie
thing was denied.
early enough so you're on the agenda, if you have to go, on the agenda for the next meeting, which is probably March 8th, if it's
Right.
28 days in this February, yeah, March 8th, probably.
And then to
Okay.
be on the zoning board, we have, which is the
Third
Wednesday
Wednesday.
the third Wednesday, you asked the Monday prior.
We have to
No.
have 15 days.
No, I
No.
actually will need your application next
First.
week if you're trying to get on,
Okay.
because I have to have the notice, would need to be in the paper February 28th, so I have to have it all done and
But
completed.
I don't
the
think some of
next-
those other things you need to do are gonna be done by our next meeting, to be quite
I
honest.
missed some
Okay.
of
No,
it,
she
are you
needs-
thinking Concom?
You're going to Concom, but you're also gonna have the land perked.
We'd have to have the land perked prior.
I would
You
just
don't
say it's
want
wise
to
on your
buy it.
behalf.
Right,
It
okay.
has nothing
It's
to
not-
do with us.
You don't,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we can approve it without it being perked, but that becomes your problem.
You can be doing those other things at the same time. You can be on the Conservation Commission's agenda, you can be getting perks done and coming
In
to
the
us.
queue for this.
So
right?
you don't have to do it in any special order,
Okay.
just be doing it all at once. But if you guys wanna get on that March agenda, I would say honestly, get me something tomorrow or Tuesday.
Thank you.
Cause I already have 2 cases that night, gentlemen, and if
Is there-
Federoff gets in before them, then it's,
Is there a deadline on your PNS?
Yes,
Yes.
When's that?
Tomorrow.
Sometime in March or April.
Okay.
I have to ask the lawyer.
Would you be willing to continue it, ask him?
oh,
Uh,
I think you will.
Guaranteed you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah, don't be afraid
It is
to
what
ask
it
for an
is.
extension.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows you're sincere.
You wanna do things right.
Yeah.
yes, and if you
Yeah, well,
wanna
I mean,
move forward-
if it expires and he's not happy about it, we're not buying until we have all the assurances we
Right,
need,
right.
so.
Okay.
Right.
Then he's back to
Can't
it.
do anything with the
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
The word is that he's broke, so.
Don't believe that.
Okay.
But if you wanna get, if you're really considering you wanna get me that right away, and
Right.
again, once you drop off the application, then I'll take care of it and pretty much have to do everything. You guys will just be in contact with me before the next meeting, so.
thank you
that-
very much. Have a good night.
Good night.
night.
Thank you very much.
Good night. Yep, good night.
Has everybody read the minutes from December 21st?
I'm good.
I have.
Want to make a motion that we accept those minutes?
I'll second. Can I do that as chairman?
You can second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no opposed?
None.
Minutes are approved. Do you want to speak after the meeting, or?
No, actually, I'd like the people at home to hear
Sure.
what I have to say. I mentioned the estate lots earlier, and I want everybody at home to know that this effort by the town and the planning board would not be to promote development, it's actually to stymie it, because the estate lots would have a reduced frontage, excess acreage, that potentially could come in as a subdivision. So someone could go to the subdivision, go to the planning board, meet all the rules, requirements of a subdivision control bylaw, put a dozen houses in there. The estate lot is basically so we can lock up that property with one house, which is what this board's tried to do in the past. So I don't want everybody to crucify the planning board thinking that they're looking to create buildable lots.
You brought this up. My question is to you, that you're talking about a say it again, an estate lot,
Mhm.
okay? And it'll be in the requirement that there'll only be one single family.
It's a bylaw.
It's a bylaw.
It's a bylaw, you can't, if they wanted to change, let's say we had an estate lot with a single-family home, and they came to me and said, I wanna put a road in. Now they gotta come, it's before this board,
For a variance.
for a variance.
And we'd have to give that to them, but why?
We don't have to give them
No,
anything.
no, we didn't have to give them.
Give a hearing.
But the way it is now, we can do that and deed restrict that piece of property.
You can do the same.
We can do the same, but the deed restriction goes away if they have enough to put a road. The guy doesn't have to come before us
Exactly.
to do that.
So you could essentially allow it, they could go to the planning board,
And do
propose a
it,
subdivision and do it. So the estate lot actually ties up that piece of property.
prevents it. And
Right.
that- knowing that this was done in the beginning, it would remain in perpetuity.
That's right. Now, I'm not
There
saying
has
that,
to be a hardship for us to grant the
Sure.
variance.
right. Now,
I
I'm
wanted
not
to be
saying
clear.
that it will stop subdivisions altogether, don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is you can tie up a large parcel of land with very little frontage for one house without coming to this board. And that it would be, the
It'd be
town has to
voted-
vote on it, right.
Right.
But I just want everybody to get the message, I don't want
You
people
think-
at home
You really
thinking.
think there'll be
That's gonna
anybody
help
sits
us.
there all that long, that, and they have this much entertainment when they're
I
still
have-
run reruns of the football game?
I
My
have
wife doesn't
people who
even
say
watch
they
the
watch
meetings.
these meetings.
My wife doesn't watch it.
Well, you just-
Truth
Thank
of
you.
the matter is, that's gonna help us.
I don't think I've seen one. I've seen Ponce.
You need to initial sign, these are the minutes that you just
I
approved.
think the meeting went pretty
I
good.
need to sign it.
Yeah, take over.
Front page,
Well, quick.
any way you want. Peter just initials and,
Initial?
Yep.
RWA, you know what that means?
Robert.
I know.
No,
You
ready,
want me to
willing?
tell
No, it's not, it's ready, willing, and able.
We'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thanks.
her? Second that motion?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll say
All
cable.
set, Cable?
We're all set. If you'd have said that on television, I'd have hit you.
I know, that's why, I was waiting